Hi there, I'm Nikisa, and in this video tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to add a little bit of extra color and personalize your flowers just a little bit more by using some pigments like eyeshadow pigments or blush pigments on your piece. So I've had a few examples here that I'll be showing you. You can either do a more shaded effect like this, or you can add some really fun colors too. It's really easy, so let's dive into the tutorial. To add some shading and blush to your piece, you can use any kind of pigment color. So if that's artist color, you can use that. If you have pastels or oil pastels, they'll also work. But something a lot of us have is an old, colorful makeup palette lying around. And if you have one of those, it can be a great chance to use some of the brighter colors inside your palette. I just have this old NYX palette that has a whole bunch of different colors and shades, and what I'm going to be doing is using some of these colors to add some dimension to some of my flowers. To add on your shading or your pigment, you can use a couple of different materials. If you have old makeup brushes, they'll work really nicely. I have a couple of old paint brushes here. They're really pretty mediocre quality, and these ones I'm going to be using to add some of this pigment. Another thing you can use is actually scrap pieces of your pipe cleaner. If you fold these over like so, you can use these ends almost like those little spongy makeup brushes you used to get for free inside little tiny palettes. You can fold them over, give them a little twist, and you can use this as well to add some of the color to your piece. Adding color to your piece is really easy. It's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest, and it's a lot like adding eyeshadow to your eyes or really painting anything. So firstly, what you're going to do is pick a color that you think will pop on your piece. In this case, I'm going to be using this dark purple just because I want to add some shading on my gerbera. To use my brush to just grab a bunch of that pigment. You don't need to be as careful as when you are creating an eyeshadow piece. And then what I'm going to do is just dab it onto my piece in the spot where I want to add shading. I'm going to add this dark purple all the way around my gerbera, brushing it in. Often adding some color looks really nice either on the tips of your flowers or in little spots like this to add depth and dimension. I'm going with a shading color here right now. So I'm obviously putting a darker purple onto a lighter purple, but there's no reason why you can't use a contrasting color as well. So if you have white petals, you could add some pink shading and that will just really pop. You could add yellow, which is quite a natural hue that you see in nature quite often. So many different options. Okay, there we go. Now give it a little tap to release any excess shading. And there is our shaded gerbera. For this pretty poppy, I'm going to show you how to use some of your excess pipe cleaner as a brush instead. So what I'm going to do is try and add more of a contrasting color. Maybe this really bright pink will work. I'm just going to, just like so, add the color. I recommend using an older palette for this, for brush, simply because you're going to be using quite a lot of pigment, and obviously if it's one of your favorite makeup palettes, you might want to save that pigment for your face instead of your bouquet. But sometimes I find, I know I've definitely got a few of these really bright, crazy palettes lying about that I haven't used in years. And obviously, even if it's expired, it's totally fine to use for our bouquet because it's not going on our skin. So it is a really useful way to make the most of some of those older palettes that sometimes we might have lying around. Alrighty, I think I'm actually going to add some of this coloring to the sides just a little bit. And then, yeah, I think that would be a nice finished touch. Now, if you feel like you've put too much, you can of course go ahead and use a clean brush to really try and brush out those pigments. But I do find you kind of want to create color that builds rather than, you know, putting a whole bunch on right at the beginning and going, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't done that. So proceed with caution at the very beginning, just to make sure you're happy with the amount of color. Alrighty, oh my god, I'm so happy with how that color is looking. What I'm actually going to do is also add some different color to the center of my poppy. To do this, I'm opening those petals like so, and I'm going to add some of this orange just around here. Just because why not? This is such a fun, playful way to add optional texture and dimension to your flowers. Ah, so good. There we go. I'm going to brush away any extra. And I'm going to use my fingers to push my flower back into shape.